At some point in time, in conversations with my clients, we talk about the importance of a great hire. I've had clients who have had really good employees. I've had clients discover the worst employees. I myself have had wonderful situations where I've hired people that have worked out really well. And I've also had situations where it's been very difficult for me. I just simply hired the wrong person. And here's the thing. When we hire the right person, we make money because we're freed up to do what we do best. But when we hire the wrong person, then we lose money. These are people who suck up our time, cost us clients, lose money due to incompetence. Literally lose money, even with fraud. And then what happens when we fire them is the state comes along and says, well, you have to pay for the unemployment. It's like, but they stole from us. They're awful. But at least here in New York, it's very difficult for a person to get fired without costing us the unemployment insurance. Such is the business life for us entrepreneurs. So this begs us the question then, how do we find the right person? Well, learn from my pain and successes. When I'm talking with my clients, the thing that I tell them is this. You have to have 3 criteria, and you have to have all 3. The first one is the hire has to have the skill, the technical ability to do the job. Can they do the job? Can they program the software? Can they lift the big boxes? Can they cook? But they also need to be willing. That's our second criteria, the willingness, the work ethic. Will they show up on time? Will they dress appropriately? Will they pay attention instead of futzing around with their phone? Will they program? Will they lift the big boxes? Will they cook? And then the third criteria is fit. And this is really about personality. Will they get along with you and your staff? When things are tough, will they hold up and have the grace to carry on? And we really have to have all 3. We have to have the skill, we have to have the willingness, and we have to have the fit. If we don't have the skill, but they're willing, then what's going to happen is that they will enthusiastically screw up. But if they have the skill, but they're unwilling, then they won't do anything. And if it's a lousy fit, well, then eventually things will deteriorate between you, your staff, and them, and they'll need to leave. And the reason I figured this out, well, there's really 2 things. One is that I was inspired by a book called Hire Tough, Manage Easy. The last I knew, it was out of print. But the premise was that when you are in the course of recruiting someone, being able to assess and have high standards during the assessment process means that it's going to be easier for you to manage them when they're actually working for you. And one of the things that they mentioned in the book was the idea of actually having assessments. And that's what I began to do. There had been a time when I would sit down, I would interview a person for up to 2 hours. And during that interview, the person would exaggerate, shall we say, their skills. And then I would get them out in the field and they would fall apart. So what I finally did was I sat down one evening. I remember I was sitting in my easy chair and I just came up with an assessment test because QuickBooks is the key tool for the people that I hire to use. So I came up with a QuickBooks diagnostic test, an assessment to see how well they knew how to use it. And now what happens is that a person comes into I get the resumes, I go through them quickly to figure out who's a likely candidate, and then when the person comes in, I spend very little time interviewing them. I actually sit them down with the test, and they need to finish it typically within 45 minutes. By the end of that, I go off and do other things, and when they're done, I'm able to take a look at it and figure it out. So it only takes me about 15 minutes per candidate instead of 2 hours now. So that's it in a nutshell. Hire tough and manage easy. Assess, be able to look for their skills, figure out their willingness, and whether or not they're a good fit for you. And you're going to find yourself in a much better position. I tell people, learn from my pain. I've had a couple of instances, the horror stories. I won't go into them now, but someday I may tell the stories of what I've learned the hard way from this. But today, learn the easy way. skill, willingness, and fit. I hope this helps. Stay tuned for future videos that I hope help you not only run your business better, but become more profitable. Connect with me on Facebook. I love meeting new people, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.